Hello and welcome to Pearls of Paradise. My name is Courtney and I am coming to you from a very cold, very blustery, very snowy Parma, Ohio. Today is Friday, December 23rd, and we are in the middle of our first winter storm of the season, and it is a doozy. It is below zero outside with the wind chill. It's way below 0 Fahrenheit. Celsius, I think right now it's close to like minus 20 here. So yeah. So I am home, all cozied up. I have the next week plus off of work, and I'm looking forward to getting some knitting in. So welcome. Thank you if you are a new viewer. Thanks for checking me out. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Thanks for joining me every couple weeks to talk about knitting and other crafty things. I have no show notes prepped today. It's been kind of a wild morning with the storm outside. My husband still had to work today, so I was kind of waiting to make sure that he got to work safely, and then to hear whether or not he was going to be staying at work and all of those sorts of things. So he got there okay, and now we're podcasting. So I am wearing today, we'll get into that, the Ruana by Marley Bird. And if you've been around a while, you know Marley is one of my favorite designers. I absolutely adore her. So most episodes, we have at least one Marley pattern. And this is today. So I'm going to stand up so y'all can see. And of course, this is when my camera preview goes away. Okay, there we go. So it's like this, not quite cardigan, but very slouchy, not quite a pocket shawl kind of thing. It has this beautiful lace panel on both sides up the front, this gorgeous stitch, pockets, and then a beautiful cable also running up the front. So this is the Ruana by Marley Bird, and I knit this out of Caron 1 pound, I think. It's just 100% acrylic worsted weight something. It's great for cozying up on a cold winter day. I absolutely love this piece. Did I love knitting it? It was not my favorite thing to knit, but the finished result, so that's what I'm wearing today, and I'm not sure what color this is. Maybe sage, maybe? Sounds about right. I'm not sure. Anyway, that is what I am wearing. I have lots to talk about today, and we're a little all over the place, but if you've been here a while, I say that pretty much every episode because we're always a little all over the place, and that's okay. It's fine. Finished objects. I do have one, and I'm going to apologize in advance. They are not clean. I wore them yesterday, and it's been just kind of a crazy week, so I didn't get a chance to wash them between last night and this morning. But my Christmas socks are done. I am so happy. I finished these Wednesday evening on my dinner break at work. And got home from work Wednesday night, washed them, wore them to work yesterday, and then we went, we got coffees last night and went out and walked around our neighborhood looking at Christmas lights because the storm didn't hit until overnight. So these are just vanilla socks, and they are done in the Fangirl Fibers Dunder Mifflin Holidays sock set. So this was a part of a Christmas box she released last year based on The Office. And as you can see, I went really fun and elfy, I guess, with them. I did the green for heels and toes on this one, and then the heel on that one, and then reversed it for the red. I love these socks. They are so fun and Christmassy and whimsical, and I just love it. So I'll get a little closer so you guys can see. They did pull a little bit differently. I'm not sure if they were just dyed a little different. Like, not the skeins, but like in the skein, the dye took differently, or my gauge was slightly different. I'm not real sure, but anyways, that is my only finished object I have to show. If you've been around for the past few episodes, particularly, I knit 3 of my nibblings, stockings for Christmas this year. Those were gifted already. I was able to give them to them a couple of weeks ago, and I did finish up my oldest niece's stocking that was not finished yet the last time I podcasted, and the kids love them. My sister-in-law loves them, so I'm very pleased with how they turned out. I'm not going to talk a whole lot more about those here. I have talked about those at great length the past few episodes, and there are finished object pictures on my Instagram and project pages on my Ravelry if you're interested. I did forget to mention my my Instagram, my Ravelry, and I'm very into Pokemon Go, so if you are too, my friend code also. All of those linked down below in the description box, and everything for the most part that I talk about on this episode will be linked down there as well. So I think that's it for finished objects. Let's move on to whatever I grab, I guess. Okay. Works in progress. So you guys have, if you've been around a while, you've seen this bag a few times. This is my Vertices Unite shawl by Stephen West. And I did, we're a little tangled, hang on. Told you this episode is going to be all over the place, and it's okay. There we go. I did make some progress on it, although I feel like I just keep showing the same triangle. Oh, it definitely looks bigger this time though. So I started here and I got to here. I just worked on it, I think one day over the last couple weeks. I think just one day. So I'm getting close. This, I think, is the largest section of the shawl. And I think we're getting close to where we can start decreasing back down, maybe. If you're not familiar with the shawl, I'm doing the larger size, and it is kind of a modular, geometric sort of shawl. And a lot of people have really loved knitting this, so I decided I wanted to knit one too. So far I've only used 2 colors, and all of my colors are from Fangirl Fibers and are all ones I got from her Disney Yarn of the Month Club, which I am part of, and just realized I left December's skein sitting over there, so I'll have to go get it at some point. The white with speckles is Glitch, inspired by Wreck-It Ralph, and the other pinky, red, purple colors, that is Tale as Old as Time, inspired by Beauty and the Beast. I'm knitting this on a size 4 Chiagoo needle, and I do not remember who made my progress keeper, but he's a little gnome. It's probably hard to see him. I don't think. There we go. So just a little gnome guy. And that's about all I have to say about this one. You guys have seen it. It doesn't really look all that much different, but I just thought I would go ahead and show it because I did get some progress done. And actually, do I have, let me see, I might have a picture. Oh, I can show you guys the picture. If you're not familiar with it, everything is in black and white. That's okay. So I am on section 1 right now. So this section, which is like the big one. And I think that's held at I think he's holding the smaller size. So mine will be quite a bit bigger. Sorry about the crinkling. But just in case you're not familiar with that shawl, that's roughly what it'll look like when it's done. We really are all over the place today. Okay, next we'll go here. So I had mentioned this a while ago that my friend Mac, hi Mac, and I were going to do a sweater knit along. She's never knit a sweater before. This will be her first one. And this was the sweater I knit myself for when I did my first adult sweater. I had made some baby sweaters and things like that before, but I figured since this was a good first sweater for me, it would be a good first sweater for her. And pretty much everybody and their brother who knit sweaters has knit this one. So I did cast on my ranunculus by Midori Heroes. And I have it on, oh man, I'm going to lose stitches here. Okay. I have it on, I'm doing this on US 9s, and I think these are 16 inches maybe. So it is very scrunched, but let me try to get a little bit so you can kind of see the yoke. If you've watched a lot of knitting podcasts or even just a few, you've probably seen a ranunculus before. I am knitting mine in Cowborn Woolens Scout. I need to look to see what the colorway is. I love this color. I love this yarn. I love this pattern. I just love it. I am knitting on bamboo needles this time. These are just clover, like from Joann's or Michael's, or whatever. It's what I had available. I typically prefer Chiagoo, but I don't know where my needles are all going. They're all disappearing. I don't know. I'm probably putting them somewhere that they're not supposed to go. I don't know. But anyways, they've all disappeared. So this is what I had consistently that I knew I could knit this sweater out of. So I am most of the way through the yoke. I think I have maybe less than 10 rows of the yoke left. I'm loving it. So we cast this on last week. I think I cast mine on about a week ago, and I am really enjoying it. I've paused it to give her a chance to catch up a little bit, and then I will keep going. Let's see. So this is the yarn. I picked this up at Wool Gathering. I know I bought it at a yarn truck, but I can't remember which one. If you're interested in where I bought it, I will try to remember and link it down below. But if not, you can always head to the episode where I talked about Wool Gathering. And, oh, the color is Moss Heather. And this is, it's a DK weight, which I love this pattern because you can knit it with just about any weight of yarn, which I think is just lovely. And it's 100% wool. Doesn't say what kind of wool, but it is really lovely, and I just think it's so pretty. I'm very excited to have a sweater in this. So my first ranunculus I did out of just like a polyamide blend that my husband's great aunt had inherited from somebody and gave me. And I didn't want to knit a sweater in nice yarn and not know what I was doing because I didn't have anybody to guide me or help me at all. So I didn't want it to turn out badly and then have also spent a lot of money on the yarn. So I just basically used free yarn and did a short sleeved kind of summer version, and I love it. But I really want a nice winter version in really nice yarn that I really love cozying up in. So I'm going to do longer sleeves. I'm not sure how long. And I'm also going to knit this one, I think, longer. I might add a split hem. I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll get there when we get there. The yoke is done in one size, and I haven't even decided what size I'm knitting yet for certain, so we'll see. And it is living in this very appropriate, very wintry project bag. And I don't know who the maker is. My husband bought this for me for Christmas last year, and it came with a Notions pouch as well that matches. So it's the perfect bag today for my sweater to live in. Let's see, what else do we have here? We'll go here. This bag, I do know where it's from. This is from, made by my friend Amy of Our So Good Life. She's on Etsy. Go check her out. I'm not sure if she has any bags in her shop right now or not. But living in here, you guys have seen if you've been around, are my Rye socks. I have one of them finished. It's been finished for a while. You guys have seen it if you've been around. Again, didn't bring down the sock blockers. It's fine. But I did get my second sock cast on, and I got a good chunk of the leg done, which is really exciting. I just hadn't had a chance to cast it on. And these are the Rye Light socks by Tin Can Knits. I don't think I said that yet. And the yarn is by Ash and Bumble. I believe it's their field sock. And the colorway is Autumnal Equinox. This was my Autumnal Equinox cast on this year, but I cast it on a couple weeks late. So I'm okay with the fact that they were not finished by winter solstice. And I'm doing 64 stitches. That's how I knit my socks. I don't think I said that with my other ones. I just do 64 stitches. That seems to fit my foot pretty well. These are US 1.5 needles. I forget the name of the maker of these stitch markers. But they're everywhere and I absolutely love them. They are great for socks. So anyways, Rye Light socks by Tin Can Knits. And that's what I've got there. All right. A lot of these you guys have seen before, and I feel like I haven't made amazing progress. Like there's nothing super exciting. It's just kind of, you know, a continuation of what they looked like before, only slightly bigger, or on the second one or whatever. So I don't know. I just feel like I don't have as much to say today with that, but that's okay. Because I think this is the last thing I worked on. Yeah, I didn't. Oh no, I did work on something else, which I will also have to go grab here in a second. But that's okay. We'll start with this one and then we'll go from there. So this is my little Star Wars bag. I don't remember the maker for this one either. We're doing so well without show notes. This is why I have notes, but whatever. I want to say it's like Uncommon Surroundings or something. I don't know. I'll link it down below. Anyway, Star Wars bag. And in here is my winter solstice cast on, which I guess I'll show you, is out of this book. Ooh. I'm trying to get the best light in the house, and we have just a lot of light here. So anyways, Knitting Vintage by Claire Montgomerie. And this is a book I've had for a while. And I'll talk a little more in future plans, but not for next year, but I think 2024, I really want to focus on knitting patterns out of books that I already own. Yeah. But because of what my goals for 2023 are, I'm kind of shelving this one until 2024. But anyways, I am going to knit I'm going to actually cover up the pattern portion so that I can show you guys. The Emerald Turban by Claire Montgomerie. And it's just this pretty simple, very lovely headband. Yeah. I love this book. It has different knitting projects for different eras. This one, I believe, is 40s inspired by the 1940s and those turban style headbands that were popular in Hollywood. And I wanted to knit a pattern out of this book for a while. And I realized, well, okay, full disclosure, if you've been around a little bit, sometimes what I'll do, I have a very extensive Ravelry queue, and I will just pull up random number generator and have it pick a number and then go see what the pattern is. I don't know. It's like a fun little game for me, I guess. So I could not choose a winter solstice cast on, so I decided that was how I was going to choose. The first pattern it brought up that I already had the yarn and the needles ready and available would be the one I would cast on. So I went through a few before I got to this one, and this one I had everything and I thought this is perfect. And it's allowing me to use a skein of yarn I've been hoarding for a while, so that's a good thing too. So the yarn is Something Blue, is the colorway, and it's on HanaMadeIt's Dangerous DK base. And Hannah doesn't dye anymore, I don't believe, which is so sad. I really love her colors. I love her style. And she is like super local to me. But I think she's done dyeing. I haven't seen anything from her in about a year. So pretty sure she doesn't dye anymore, which is a bummer. And I've been hanging on to this yarn for a while. Here's what I have so far. And of course, winter solstice was just a couple days ago. And I love this. I originally bought this skein thinking I was going to knit something out of it for my husband. And I couldn't find the right project. And then, like I said, I figured out that she had kind of stopped dyeing. So I've just been hoarding a lot of her yarn because I know I won't be able to get more of it. And I really love her bases and colors and everything. So I've just been hanging on to stuff, but I think it's time to start using it up because I need some space for new yarn, and I don't know. It's time. So that's what I have so far, and basically, without giving too much away, you knit a very, very long strip, and then you seam it and kind of fold it to create that whole look, and it's going to be absolutely lovely. And I thought that these were perfect wintry blues, and like I said, it's allowing me to use up a skein that has just been hanging out in my stash, not getting used. So all good things. Again, you probably noticed I'm knitting these on bamboo needles. Good old Clover, because these are size 6 and my size 6s have gone missing. I don't know. I need to do a deep clean, like, look for needles, find all the things, organize all the things one of these days. But it's okay. These needles are fine. They work great for what I'm doing, so no big deal. And that's my winter solstice cast on for 2022. And if you've been around, you're probably wondering, did you ever finish your mitts that were the winter solstice cast on for 2021? And the answer is no. No, I have not. I have not picked them up again since I think the last time I showed you. But since I have the next like 10 days off, I am really hoping to be able to pick those back up and, if not make great progress, maybe even finish them. So, but we'll see. Best laid plans and all that, and I'm going to talk about some other cast-ons here in a minute. So we're just going to see how this all shakes out. But I am going to pause this really quick and go grab my last work in progress that I realized I didn't get, and my Disney Yarn of the Month skein and all that. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I forgot to bring over to show you. I also got a square, almost 2 squares, done on my Cozy Memories blanket. So let's not lose stitches. There we go. I finished up this one and I put a little reindeer hot cocoa progress keeper on so that I knew what squares I've done. So I did this one and then I am almost done with this one. So it is time almost for me to start a new row. This is coming along really well and I really love it. So anyways, there's that. That will probably also get a lot of love this week. I have so many plans for this week though. I think I need every day to be about 96 hours long to get them all done. So we'll see what actually happens and how much actually gets accomplished. But hopefully more will go into this. I'm not going to talk a ton about this. You've seen it a million times. A lot of people have knit one of these. I am following the Cozy Memories pattern by Shelley Dupont of Polka Dot Creek. And I'm knitting that on a US size 3 needle. Now that's it for works in progress. Wow. I don't know why you guys come back every week. I'm always amazed. Always amazed. Not every week. Every other week. Whatever it is. Okay, next up, let's do stash editions / future plans. We're just going to combine all of that. And I realize this is a shorter episode for a couple reasons. One, if you're like me, you're not even watching podcasts right now. You're watching all the Vlogmases, and that's amazing. That is great. That is wonderful. I love Vlogmas, and that's totally fine. I am totally okay with that. So that's reason 1. Sorry about that shaking. Reason 2, things are quite crazy outside, and I'm kind of trying to keep an eye in case my husband ends up heading home from work early. And reason 3, it is right before the holidays. We all have a lot going on, and I just don't feel like I had as much to show as I thought. I think part of that is I haven't had the knitting time that I thought I would the last couple weeks. It just hasn't worked out that way, and that's okay. Yeah, and that's okay. There's just been a lot going on, so which we'll get to that in life stuff, I think. I can even remember everything, but all right, we'll go ahead and do stash editions. Like I said, we're all over the place, but that's okay. All right, so first up, Disney Yarn of the Month for December. It's December 23rd. I am fairly certain everybody's gotten theirs, but if you haven't and you don't want to see, please look away. Look away. Don't look if you are also in Fangirl Fibers Disney Yarn of the Month Club. But it's this beautiful icy, well, don't listen either if you don't want to know. It's this beautiful icy blue, and it is called Alice, inspired by Alice in Wonderland and her dress, I am sure. And it's so wintry, and it's like the perfect December color. So no idea what I'm going to do with it, but that's okay. I love it. I love it so much. I could do maybe a patterned sock, or maybe I'll save it and pop it in a shawl or a sweater or something. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, Fangirl Fibers, Disney Yarn of the Month, December 2022. I am going to move this basket. I'm so sorry about the shaking. It's because I keep hitting this basket and dropping things on the floor. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So one of the life things that I did over the past couple of weeks, last Saturday, we went across town, about 45 minutes away to visit my grandparents. My grandpa turned 89 this week, so that was exciting. And we went over to see them over the weekend, and where they live is about 15 minutes from a yarn shop that I have been wanting to visit for quite a while. And it's been on my list and I just hadn't gotten there. So we went to Harps and Thistles Yarn Emporium in Cuyahoga Falls. I think that's what the name is. They have, yep, Harps and Thistles Yarn Emporium. We'll just show the little, I'm covering up my total because we don't need to look at that. Okay, there's your show notes. Hopefully I didn't just flash my total at you. Okay, whatever. I'll check. And I got some needles. I got size 5s and 2 size 4s because those seem to be what I'm out of all the time. But I did this ahead of realizing that I'm out of 6s. But that's okay. So I got some more needles, which is good. And then I am missing a skein that I got. Okay, well, that's fun. I don't know where that went. But I did get 2 skeins of Berroco ultra wool fine. Anyway, I got this. It's 100% superwash wool, and it is in the Rosemary colorway. And I knit with I really like to wear, I guess, a lot of blues and greens because they bring out my eyes, which are green, and they just, yeah, make them pop. So I bought these to knit a pattern. This is where we're sliding over into future plans. To knit a pattern called Sleepy Hollow. And it's this, not the shawl, but it's these mitts and this hat. And it's by Irish Girly Knits. You can find it over on Ravelry. I believe they're sold together or sold separately. But I've wanted to knit them for quite some time and just didn't really have the appropriate yarn. And here's a better picture of the mitts. I only have a black and white printer, so that's why everything's in black and white usually. And, but anyway, I've been wanting to knit these for a while. I think they're just so beautiful. And I wanted a nice matching set. So I finally bought this yarn so that I can do that. So very excited about those. When am I going to cast this on? I don't know. I have no idea where this other skein went. None. Let me, oh my goodness. Okay. I have no idea where this went. Let me go check one place. We are all over the place. I am so sorry. It's real life. Let me go look. Okay. It has just poof disappeared. I have no idea what I did with it. I had it. I have been like looking at it every day. My guess is I took it upstairs and put it somewhere, or I don't know. Everything is a little all over the place right now because of the holiday, so it's fine. If I remember, I'll show you all next time. I'll just kind of describe it. It is a beautiful skein of fingering weight yarn by 3 Irish Girls is the dyer. The color is Matterhorn, and it's like kind of a gray beige with like mauve undertones and some greens running through it. It's really pretty, and I think it's going to make a beautiful sock. And I have a sock in mind that I was going to talk about, but I'll wait till another time when I can show the yarn, and we're gonna just keep going and move on. Oh boy. Okay. we'll just keep going with the future plans. So let's go with this. This is another Our So Good Life bag by my friend Amy. I bought this last year. It's got flamingos on it, which, you know, is a Parma thing. Pink flamingos. So I am going to be, which I forgot to double check that I have the needles available. I'm 90% sure that I do. Hopefully I do. I'm going to cast on the Tilted Blocks shawl by Marley Bird. This is going to be my Christmas Eve cast on, hence the Christmas bag. And I'm going to use It's a Wrap Sprinkles by Red Heart. It's 50% acrylic, 50% cotton. And these are actually leftovers from the my first knit vest, summer vest, something like that. Also by Marley Bird, that I knit a few years ago, and I wore that, I think episode 3 maybe, 3 or 5, one of those two. So I'm going to use up some leftovers. I would really like to use these up and get them kind of out of my stash. So that's my plan. It's supposed to be knit on size 8s, and for shawls, I don't really pay attention to gauge at all. I just use whatever the designer recommends. With Marley's patterns, I'm usually pretty close to gauge, so I'm not too worried. And okay, if I'm being honest, you're supposed to check your gauge, and I tell people that they should, and I tell people that they should swatch. I rarely actually swatch. I know, but I just don't. I just wing it, usually. So, like, my ranunculus, did I swatch? No, I didn't swatch. It's fine, though, that I love patterns like that, where the ranunculus, like, it looks good on everybody. It looks good whether it's closer fitting or hugely oversized or whatever. It just looks good on everyone, so I'm really not worried. It's fine. Whatever. That's why I'm having such a hard time choosing a size, honestly, is because I'm like, I don't know, however it fits, it'll be great, and I'll be thrilled with it. I'm not overly picky about the fit of my garments, as far as like whether they're oversized or close fitting. That doesn't matter a lot to me. What I am pickier about are things like length and sleeve length and stuff like that. But anyway, even then, I'm not all that picky. I'll be happy with it no matter what. But I digress. Anyways, Christmas Eve cast on the Tilted Blocks shawl by Marley Bird. It is both a paid and a free pattern. So if you want a PDF version that's all cleaned up and pretty, she does have that available, I believe, over on Ravelry or on her website, marleybird.com. It is a free pattern. So anyways, go check it out. And that's going to be my Christmas Eve cast on. And again, we're just going to do really simple show notes here today. Red Heart, It's a Wrap Sprinkles. All right. And I don't know if anybody caught this, but I actually changed which project bag I had this in when I got up to grab my Cozy Memories blanket. I had put it in a Stranger Things bag, and then I remembered this one. And since it's Christmas Eve cast on, I wanted to use this, so there you go. Other future plans. And another Our So Good Life bag. This is, well, let me chat about this. So you guys have also seen my still unfinished throwback shawl by Cozy Up Knits, which was technically this year's MCAL. And they do a mystery knit along, which is MCAL is short is the abbreviated way to say that, every year for New Year's. And it goes for 5 weeks, I believe. And you buy the pattern ahead of time and in Ravelry, or they have it available on PayHip if you don't use Ravelry. And then every week, a new clue downloads and you get the next clue. It's always a shawl, you know that much. But the rest is a mystery, and they're super fun. This will be my 3rd year doing it. I've only ever finished the first one, and I always finish them late in the year. I'm hoping this is another one of these grand plans that I have for these 10 days. I am hoping to get my shawl from last year done before I cast on the one for this year. So I did choose my yarn. This year they call for 1 fingering weight full skein and 10 mini skeins, or I believe there's a version with 3 fingering weight skeins. And I went back and forth because I have yarn for both. But at least the last episode, maybe even the one before, I mentioned one of my knitting goals for 2023 is to use more minis. So in alignment with that, I opted to do the 1 main skein and 10 minis. And going back to my winter solstice cast on, I also talked about wanting to use some of these skeins that I've been hoarding, particularly from Hana. So that's what we're doing. So my main skein is going to be this one. These are all from her Advent last year, which I think is the last one she did, which was based on the Never-Ending Story. So this was Christmas Day's full skein, and it's called The Nothing. So it's like a variegated black and white kind of skein. So it's going to be my main. I probably should have gone with like a solid, but I didn't. And it's going to be great anyway. I don't really care. It's fine. And then I've got my 10 minis, so I'll just kind of hold them up as I say what they are. So this one is Racing Snail. And we have Bastion. And It Has to Hurt If It's to Heal. You're Disturbing My Scientific Work. I'll hold them up a little better once I've got them all out. This one is the Southern Oracle. The next one, it's been such a long time since I've watched this movie. We watched it last year, but prior to that, it had been many, many years. Angiwook and Urgle. I'm probably saying that wrong because it's been so long. Never Give Up and Good Luck Will Find You. In the Beginning, It Is Always Dark. I Know Books. Why don't you do what you dream? Is that all of them? Yep, that's all of them. Okay. So there they are. And yeah. So I don't know how it's going to turn out because I am using all variegated yarns. So, yeah. I'm not sure, but it's okay no matter how it turns out. It'll be a cozy shawl, I'm sure, and it'll be great. It'll be something a little bit different, and again, it's going to use up yarn I have been kind of hoarding and didn't really know what to do with. So that's a wonderful thing, and I'm very happy about that. So those are going into my and I think they're calling it the Mini Me this year, my Cozy Up Knits Mystery MCAL, and there's still time. So if you have minis from your advent this year laying around, or previous years, or you have 3 skeins of fingering weight, go check it out. They recommend, I believe, a US size 4 needle, and join the fun. Even if you don't finish on time, it's just really fun. I love mystery knit alongs, and it's great. So anyways, that is that, and I'm really excited to get that cast on here in about a week, a little over a week. So there's that. And while I was talking about that, I thought about something else that now I don't remember what it was that I was going to mention. It seems like it was a future plan. And it is, oh, I know what it was. Stash edition. To backtrack a little bit, I got my advent this year, if you didn't tune into the last episode or two, is the Encanto inspired advent by Fangirl Fibers. And I'm not showing that over here. I will show it next time once everything is opened, maybe. I am keeping them in the bags right now because I thought it was a fade, but I'm not really sure because it faded beautifully until maybe like day 12 or 13. And then I've gotten some minis in between that haven't really made sense in a fade. So I thought I knew what I was going to do with them, and now I'm not sure anymore. So for now, I am leaving them kind of in order in the bag. So I may not end up showing that here now that I'm saying it out loud. But if I do not show it here, I am each day, although the last few days have been a little hairy, I have been opening them over on Instagram and posting them as a reel. So if you're interested, you can go check those out over there. I am more active on Instagram, and that's where you can find me for the most part. So I think that's everything knitting related I had to talk about. Yeah, so let's just get into life update. It's been a busy couple of weeks. My sister-in-law came over for dinner a couple of weeks ago, and we did a little Christmas with her. Oh, I did give her the Bashful hat by Marley Bird that I knit a while ago. She loved it, so that was great. I worked on my sock while she was here, and that was really lovely. We went to dinner with friends the night before that, which was also great. My husband had his work Christmas party the day before that. That was all a couple weekends ago. Last weekend, like I said, we went to visit my grandparents, and went to the yarn store. And then last Sunday, we celebrated my brother's birthday. My brother and my grandpa, one of my brothers and my grandpa share a birthday. So we celebrated his birthday Sunday and went to lunch, and then had family bowling, kind of impromptu family bowling right after. So that was a fun time. And yeah, this week's been busy. Last week we had our staff quarterly staff meeting with my department, and I gave a little knitting lesson, so that was kind of fun. I knit a bunch of swatches for that and just handed them out and taught people the knit stitch since it was already cast on and we didn't have a lot of time. But that was fun. And yeah, last night, like I said, I think I said this, my husband and I grabbed some fancy coffees from one of our favorite local coffee shops here, and walked around our neighborhood and drove around a little bit and looked at lights, and that was great. Last weekend was Pokemon Go Community Day for December, so we've been doing all the Pokemon Go events as well. I don't know, the week has been a blur. It was a little bit of a crazy work week, and of course, all the preparations for Christmas. Although one of my family members is not doing well, they are sick, so we'll be postponing our Christmas plans now until sometime in the future, maybe early next week or the week after. We'll see. So that's a bummer, but that's okay. I don't have to clean my house for tomorrow now. It'll just be my husband and I this weekend for the holidays, so which is fine. Low-key is good too. So anyways, I have loved chatting with you all. I have loved getting to build this little community this year and hang out with you. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a really great year, and I can't wait to see where we go. But I am going to get going. I have some gifts I need to get wrapped. I might do some baking this afternoon. I'm not real sure. Or get started on one of these 8,000 knitting plans that I have that I'm definitely going to get done this week. There's other crafty things that I am definitely doing this week too. And I use definitely very loosely here. Lots going on. All good things. Lots and lots going on right now. So anyway, thank you for joining me. And whether you are in a tropical paradise or you're here with me in cold and blustery and snowy Paradise, I hope that you find some time to knit in your little corner of paradise. Have a great week, and if you celebrate, happy holidays, friends. Bye.